We can
We can
start.
start, sir. Okay. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to one and all. We are virtually gathered today for celebrating 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Every year on 2nd October, the birth anniversary of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is observed. The day is to commemorate his birth as well as to celebrate his life that serves as a guiding path for several people in India as well as across the world. With this note, I would like to welcome Shri P. Maruti, peace activist, as our chief guest to celebrate 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. I now request Professor Santosh Kapuria, Director, CSIR SCRC and Coordinating Director, CMC, to deliver the welcome address.
Okay, so respected chief guest of today's function, Sri P. Maruti, and my dear colleagues of CSIR, ACRC, and CSIR Madras Complex, a very good afternoon to all of you. Today, as you know, that this 150th birth anniversary celebration was happening for the last 1 year. So actually, the 150th is Mahatma Gandhi was born on 1869, October 2nd, and 150th birth anniversary happened last year. And as you remember that we had inaugurated a mural of Mahatma Gandhi in our campus, which was not there earlier. There's no bust of him. So that was sort of filled. That gap was filled last year, and again 1 year has passed by. And tomorrow, the 2nd October, is going to be the end of this anniversary celebration, which was there for 1 year now. So we thought that we on this special day, we once again will remember this man who was a wonder, and has shaken the world by very gentle push and effort. Now, as you all know, that everybody from the leaders, from political leadership to many of us, all the time they talk about Mahatma Gandhi. He was great, this, that. But question is how much of what he used to say and what he represented we practice, including our leaders. I think today is a very painful day. In yesterday, in fact, what happened for a very young 20-year-old girl, or this has again shaken the conscience of the nation. How the system has totally brutalized this aspect. So and so again, so this is very important for us to again remember the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi in the present context. Again, it is very important. That's why we thought that we'll talk about him. I'm going to just read some of the things that he said, the quotes, just to remind ourselves what he believed in. I quote, I will give you a talisman. Whenever you are in doubt or when the self becomes too much with you, apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man whom you may have seen, and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use to him. Will he gain anything by it? Unquote. Again, there is another quote. The essence of all religions is one, only their approaches are different. If I discover that Hindu Shastras really countenance untouchability as it is seen today, I will renounce and denounce Hinduism. So these are the things that he represented, and I don't have to tell you anything just to understand that how we are following these things. Uh, the scenario is speaking for itself, so I don't have to say anything. There is sufficiency in the world for man's need, but not for man's greed. My religion is based on truth and non-violence. Truth is my God. Non-violence is the means of realizing Him. So these are the thoughts that he used to believe in, and he led the world by these thoughts. Unfortunately, we all the time swear by him, but I'm afraid that possibly we don't even want to know what he represented. So with this, again, I welcome you all to this function, and I think he also, we must always think, and that is also he said one of the quotes, is that be the change you want to see in the world. So if we all of us really think that something needs to change, we have to change ourselves. And if we do not change, then nothing is going to happen. And if we change, it doesn't mean that tomorrow is going to be all right. But if we do not change, nothing is going to happen anyway. So therefore, it is very important that we do our contribution to whatever change that we want to see in the world, and then leave the rest to the uh, to future, that what happens. So with this, uh, I am very grateful that Sri Maruti, who has been a very leading figure in this state of Tamil Nadu on this Gandhian philosophy. He has organized many events and awareness programs on this also. So it will be really wonderful to hear from him, his experience, the 3 decades of Gandhian experiments. Uh, we just look forward to hear from him. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Bharat Kumar, Chief Scientist and Advisor Management, CSIR SCRC, to introduce the chief guest of today's function.
Good afternoon. It's my privilege to introduce today's chief guest, Sri P. Maruti, peace activist who is promoting Gandhian ideology and working for deprived classes. He born on 1st February 1962 and has organized many public welfare programs under the direct mentorship of late Gandhian DD Nirmala Deshpande, and also under the guidance of peace activist late Sri C.D.V. Ragolu, late Sri Radha Kishan Malviya, and Professor Shankar Kumar Sanyal. He has conducted many orientation program and workshop on Gandhiji's constructive program, youth festivals, with focus on those not having enough opportunities, then self-employment opportunities and awareness for
Bharat, audio cut.
Bharat Kumar, you're muted again. You have to unmute.
automatically it is getting so his major achievements were workshop on corporation, cooperation and confidence building in South Asia held at Colombo, Sri Lanka, workshop on non-violence in theory and practice at Dharmasthala, and workshop on tracing family reunion organized by Indian Red Cross Society, then reenactment of the Salt March by foot from Trichy to Vidaranyam in Tamil Nadu, and he has led a bicycle team of Gandhi Sadbhavana Jyoti Yatra from Vaikom to New Delhi, and Samdhan integration and communal harmony program during Sarvodaya fortnight in slum, coordinating the government and corporate bodies for conducting Gandhian programs and people to people contact program both in India and Pakistan. He is a member of many societies. So a few of them are Indian Cross Society, Indian Red Cross Society, Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha, Youth Hostel Association of India, and then Thakkar Baba Vidyalay Samiti. He held many positions. Few of them are State President, Harijan Sevak Sangh, Tamil Nadu, Executive Committee Member, Harijan Sevak Sangh, New Delhi, Secretary and Trustee of Thakkar Baba Vidyalay Samiti, Founder Convener of Youth Forum for Gandhian Studies, then Secretary for Indian Red Cross Society Chennai, and Treasurer for Rotary Club of Presidency College, and National Convener for 108 days Gandhi Parikrama for Global Peace from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So he has got vast experience, and he will be talking about his experience in last 3 decades on Gandhian experiments. So now I request Sri P. Maruti to deliver his guest lectures. Thank you, sir.
Namaste to everybody. I deem it a great privilege and honor, and I'm grateful to CSIR-SC Santosh Kapuriaji, Director, Dr. Bhajantri Bharat Kumar, Chief Scientist and Advisor, Dr. J. Scientist, Madam Ramyaji, Scientist and staff, and others connected with the research center, and all well-wishers who are present here on this occasion. I believe in God, and it happens just because of his direction and his design. I usually not accept the invitations, but unfortunately, when the invitation came to me, I said immediately yes. I think it is the design of God that happened, and that's why we're all here today together. When I was asked to speak about it, and I was asked to give my choice to speak a topic, so I told that I'd like to share the experiences of Gandhian ideology that I have experienced so far. As mentioned about 30 years of my experience in Gandhian ideology, I spent 10 years in analyzing it. What is Gandhiji? And what people say about Gandhiji by the preachers. And it took nearly 10 years, 10 quite long years, to decide about my own way of following Gandhian ideology. Nowadays, I found that many of the, as our director was mentioning in his of the day are so highly confused about Gandhian ideology. What is required is that every
Murthy, is there a problem?
I think the bandwidth is slow. I think you're not able to listen to him fully. I think the video is also very pixelated.
So, shall we ask him to mute this thing, switch off the camera, or?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I'll just ask him. Maybe I'll talk to his daughter. Tell him.
Mm.
I think the line got cut. I think they're just rejoining back again.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you now.
So I think I was just mentioning, good evening to everybody, and I'd like to say, out of my 30 years of experience, nearly 10 years it took for me to decide. Is because those who preach about Gandhian principles at various levels, they are not following it. So when as an young person activities, I found it very difficult to analyze and to see them and what they preach and what they practice. And finally, I decided that whether they practice it or not, whatever they say, let me take it and apply in my activities wherever it is possible and whatever I can do. That small decision it took me for 10 years to take. So after that, I have analyzed, and right from Gandhiji impressed by his parents, and he just learned so many things out of Shavana Pitru Bhakti and as well as Satya Harichandra play. So we used to say, at least before the people, be truthful before the children, before the young people, so that they learn the qualities. If not this generation, the coming next generation will be happy. So Gandhiji is a vast personality, and he has got so many ideas, and he has never turned any leaf unturned. And his knowledge in all the subjects is not just bookish, but his experience and as well as his learnings are quite a lot, and which I think we cannot complete it even throughout our life. But as far as my thing is concerned, Gandhiji's 11 vows: Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Asangraha, Sarirasham, Ashwada, Sarvatra Vayavarchanam, Sarvadharva Samanatva, Swadeshi Sparsha Bhavana, Vinamra Vrata Nistase Ekadasa Vrata. This is what is Asham's 11 vows. It implies everything in life. I'd like to say a few of these things and correlate with my experiences. So first one, I'd like to take non-violence. Non-violence is a ahimsa. Non-violence just simply doesn't mean that physically harming. It applies in everything, and every one of us also is aware of it and what way one can hurt. If it might hurt people if it is not in an appropriate time. The war is to be non-violent. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How? You need to analyze yourself every day. One day, as our director he was mentioning, it's not possible to come out or to bring a change in a day. Yes, it is true. But it is not an impossible thing. If you analyze every day that what you are doing, then you can finalize it and you can correct it. Once if you keep correcting, then I think that itself is a great change. There are a lot of violences that we are come across that we are seeing every day in our day-to-day life, not only in our place, all over the world. Why it is happening? It is because of selfishness or political motives. Mostly it is because of selfish motives. It is just because of selfish motive of a person that changes the whole thing. The people who matters, if they say something, then it happens. So that is the reason why non-violence is taken a back seat. So now what is the see in violence? Is there any guarantee that they will win? If it is so, then all the whole world, with so many wars around, small and big, World War One and World War Two and many other wars is happening. So I think it is not the solution. Then you may ask, the non-violence is the solution. Yes, it may also not guarantee the permanent solution, but it will give you the permanent peace. Whereas in violence, if there is a revenge and you will have revenge, and there is no end for that. And one of the quotes which I read, eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. So then for what for we are living? It is also not like, the burial ground, the peace what we want. We want the peace with happiness, with joy, with peace, with progress and prosperity. All that is needed to have a peaceful life and happy life. So non-violence is as no comparison with any other thing. Violence is not at all a solution. If anybody who lives, who want peace, there's no other go. And that will give you a happiness, self-satisfaction. So there is no revenge and revenge in this non-violence. Coming to Satyagraha, truths. Gandhiji used, as Director Ji mentioning, truth is my God. Why? Yes. Truth has got only one face. Whereas when you keep, why you say truth? When anybody says truth, lies, why they lie? Is because of the fear, because of the selfishness, or because of the punishment. There are any other reasons just for their own sake. So truth, if you say one thing, and it will never change. It will be there for forever. And that means that truth has to be practiced. How Gandhiji impressed and the Satya Chandra play that has become a model for Gandhiji to practice throughout his life. He never did anything behind while fighting for freedom. He always used to say that I'm going to do this time, and he will announce it, and then he is ready to face the consequences. So there was no problem as far as Gandhiji is concerned. I'm also of the opinion, out of my experience, truth will save you forever, forever, and you can lead a peaceful life. And peace with happiness, you can live with truth. Control of palate. Now people are telling, I take it in two senses. One is that using the words that hurt other people. As I mentioned earlier, when the words that we use, the way that we behave will also hurt others. If you wanted to live with violence, then it is the thing that you can do anything. But when you think of others, it is necessary that non-violence is to be practiced, for which control of palate is one of the things. That is while communicating and as well as control of palate. The tasty foods, now we have junk foods, so which will affect. Now the scientists say that don't eat junk foods. That also the food habit that you have, that also will provoke you to be a violent or to be a non-violent. So that is the reason why non-vegetarianism is propagated, and that is the reason why I say control of palate. Even while communicating, you need to have very good communication, and you should think. As I heard some time back, somebody was telling that when you speak, there should not be any other way for the other person to say anything about it. That means that once when we speak something, when to some other person, we should think twice, thrice, even more than that. There's no problem. But once when you speak, it should be in such a way that there should not be any other way for any other person to speak any other way than that. That means we need to be so polite and communicating. I'd like to say a small incident that happened. The newly married couples, the mother-in-law used to harass the daughter-in-law like anything. If there is near her bed something is available, if the daughter-in-law used to be somewhere far away, and she used to call her to give that, which she herself can take it from her place itself. Then that daughter-in-law decided that if I get a son, if I get him married, and my daughter-in-law comes, I should not do the same thing. I should not give any trouble to my daughter-in-law. Yes, what that day happened, and the daughter-in-law came. Now what happened? She did everything, even to his son, and the daughter-in-law started thinking that she's treating her as a illiterate because of the communication problem. And these days, even when the communication nowadays SMS, I just was typing something. It says like, I wanted to congratulate, it has gone to condolences. So we should be very careful that, while communicating, so control our palate in speaking and as well as in controlling the taste. And as far as the truth is concerned, I also wanted to say something, my childhood experience. I went for a tuition, and during that time we were using fountain pen, there were no ball pen. And my teacher's house was so whitewashed and it was neat and clean. I was just using the pen, and just when I was just doing something is then when it gave me a trouble, the ink fell on the floor as if it is a design. And my friends who saw that thing, they asked me that you should give me this thing not to inform the teacher. Like that it started, and everybody started asking me. And I decided, I said first, yes, okay, I'll give it to you, don't tell. Second person, and like that, everybody started asking me, then I decided it's not a mistake of mine, and just because it happened just like that. So I decided to go and after whatever had happened, say to the teacher whatever happened, and if they excuse fine, otherwise if they gave punishment, I was ready to go. I mean, accept that thing. So when I went to the teacher, he said, okay, doesn't matter. So there is a matter. From that time onwards, I never said lie to my knowledge. And I also used to tell my friends and my family, if you find anything that I am speaking differently or telling lies, I used to tell them, please correct me if I'm wrong. Like that, I follow this thing. I mean, following the truths. Equality of religions. Yes, equality of religions. I would also like to say it is inbuilt, and unfortunately, it has been politicized. And if you think from here, it is not there everywhere. I think wherever I've been there, I just saw the thing. In some form or the other, there is some sort of untouchability. There's some sort of inequality, and it how to remove it. It is not all the equality of religions or equality of economy or these things cannot be equal, and it's not also good. For example, if you say like when you go to the garden, if you see one single flower, do you like that? Or if there is in the garden, various flowers blossoming and as well as with a lot of plants around and all that, you enjoy it. I think everybody will enjoy it when there is a diversity, when there is a different flowers. The same way, like we can have the differences of religion, region, language, etc. But living together is the important thing. We should understand and we should respect one another's their tradition, their customs, their religion, their language, anything, whatever the difference that we have, we should learn to respect. We should learn to live with it. Then I think there is no problem. The religion, so equality, and as well as economic equality, as I said, I think there are many people who would have heard that our hand has got 5 fingers. Not all are same, but each one is very important to have full-fledged work or do anything. So in the same way, like I think we need, and we are fortunate. India is fortunate to have so many diversifications. In spite of all that, we are living in unity. That is a greatness. And because of the people like all of you, You are just following the thing. That is the reason why you are. And unfortunately, I think sometimes the things that we hear is more of no negativity, and this negativity makes no people involved in that. But that negativity or people in violence or people in antisocial activities are very limited in number, and it can be counted. Unfortunately, those who are silent, those who do not support but still remain silent, that is the reason why this is happening. And apart from that, I think the media hype on those activities is too much, and that is the reason why anything happens, good things that is not properly taken care of. I mean, properly taken care, properly taken to the people, properly taken to the needy people wherever it is required. That is the reason why sometimes we feel that so highly irritated seeing all these things, and even sometimes we feel that reading newspaper is also of no use. So the positivity is to be promoted, and that will help us to live in peace. Another thing, what I said, like Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement is not like be India by India or whatever. It is like, as our Honorable Prime Minister recently said, vocal for local. Acharya Vinoba Bhava, the spiritual head of Mahatma Gandhi, used to say, think locally, act globally. That is, think globally, act locally. So like that, I think this Swadeshi is helping right from your neighborhood, right from your neighbor. Help if something is available there, please take from that place. So it is like anywhere to any level. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So the whole universe is like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this Swadeshi is like helping others, right, beginning from their neighborhood. Then physical labor, and see, for our mental capacity to build up our intellect, what we do, we read, we'll see, we listen, everything. That will improve our mental capacity, our intellect. Now, what about our body? We need to have the body. Unless your body is strong, and if you are strong, I think then nothing will go into it. That what you need to do, physical labor. And I found myself like but it should not be too much of exploitation also. With the limited physical labor will help you to keep your body, your physique good, and as well as to have everything will be in control in your body. You'll have nice sleep, you'll have appetite, and you will do the work perfectly. So physical labor is something which is needed, not only for those who work as a laborers, but everybody need to do the physical labor. So he said, or Gandhiji said, bread labor. Sometimes I used to think, bread labor, what is this? And I'm doing office work. Somebody is preparing, I can take it. He says, like, no, you should also contribute to have the bread labor. Yes, why should somebody else do something and then we eat? We also need to contribute whatever way that is possible. And if you are convinced that you do not have time, then it is up to you. But physical labor, there is no compromise. Nowadays, there are many things. We'll do the yoga and all that thing. And I think there are many people. I used to say, like, when the yoga and other things are introduced, I mean, it has become popularized. I used to say, like, sweeping, cleaning the house. We should make something like, exercise according to the productivity level, so that you can clean your house up and down, and as well as walls and everything. So now that also is a part of our yoga exercises. So physical labor is a must to keep your body health and as well as to continue your work or to have your good physique. So non-possession. What is this non-possession? How can one live without any possession? Yes. That doesn't mean that you should not have anything. Anything excess than what you have is something a crime, which Gandhiji said it is equivalent to stealing. Therefore, what we need, somebody cannot tell. Sir, you can, hello? You hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
So you can just indicate me, sir, if I'm exceeding the time. I'm also cautious about it. That's an important thing. So whenever it is time up, you can just indicate me. So then, as I was telling you about it, non-possession, fearlessness. As I mentioned that Gandhiji used to be courageous, and fearless in all his activities during the freedom struggle or all the movements, whatever that he had carried, and fearlessly he announced and did that thing. Nowadays, I've seen the people giving their life for no reason. Maybe suicides, maybe terror attacks, suicide bombers. So for that also is energy is needed. That also fearless. They are also fearless. But one thing I wish to appeal on this occasion of 150th year of Mahatma Gandhi. Let us all shed all those things. Let us all come to streamline. Let us all work for peace. Your fearlessness will help if there is anything wrong that is going on. Non-violently it can be achieved. If not, at least you have the satisfaction. Society will have high regards and respect to you. Therefore, fearlessness to do good is essential. And as brahmacharya and chastity, it means like people say brahmacharya means, and one should not they should become a sannyasi. No, it is not like brahmacharya. You can have all stages of life, but chastity is important. Now people talk about after the age, one person, one for one, things like that. So now Gandhiji informed this a way back, few years back, not few years, say about 150 years back. So now brahmacharya means you should have a chastity and you can have a married life and a peaceful life also. And if anyone wanted to know about Gandhiji, his autobiography is sufficient. If anyone can read Gandhiji's autobiography, he'll be knowing what sort of person he is. And coming to this, Gandhiji also gave for social workers for the country towards progress. Has given about 13 constructive programs and added 5. So about 18 constructive programs has given, which the government also now is taking various steps. Say, for example, communal unity and removal of untouchability. As mentioned, I'm present the state head of the Harijan Sevak Sangh. Harijan Sevak Sangh was formed in 1932 by Gandhiji while opposing communal award of the British's divide and rule policy. All the leaders joined together and then they have formed this thing. They have signed a pact. Afterwards, they started Untouchability League, then which has become now Harijan Sevak Sangh. And where are the institutions that we have? Gandhiji, during that time when it started, because of his peak of untouchability, he started various schools, colleges mostly not, schools they have started, and as well as hostels for the students to stay and pursue education and vocational training. Why? It is to improve socio-economic conditions of the brothers and sisters of the community. During the same time, Gandhiji also said we should not continue the same separation. And recently on 24th September, we have observed Harijan Sevak Sangh Founders Day. I was asking our children, till such a time I didn't ask them. I asked them whether, can you tell me who are all belong to what community or what religion, what caste? They said no. I was so happy that, for the government purpose, we collect the certificates, submit it to them for some of them, the departments concerned, but others, they no need at all. So I was so happy that, they are doing that. And like, the removal of untouchability, it exists in various forms. Still, it is there even after so long time. And Gandhiji was the first person who just said that he will not enter into the temples as long as the so-called untouchables are welcome. And Gandhiji, it was the tradition of Harijan Sevak Sangh, as Gandhiji said, the so-called high caste people should be the members of this Harijan Sevak Sangh to do penance as crimes committed by the forefathers of the so-called high caste people and serve these people. That is how the people belonging to this Harijan Sevak Sangh mostly are from the so-called high caste, and they also nowadays they don't know who belong to what caste. Prohibition, spoiling the whole world, but particularly in India. And nowadays we cannot see the youngsters. It's alarming. Youngsters can be seen in hundreds queuing up. I don't know whether they can queue up for anything, but the vehicles are parked and the way that they stand for the liquor and things like that. is really alarming. And something has to be seriously taken. And I was so happy with the corona when the lockdown announced. There's no liquor shops. Then again, when they started, I've seen yesterday one WhatsApp message with all PPT kits. I think that's what I think PPT. Full PPE kits. People joined there and they are buying that, and it's spoiling not only them, their health, the society, their family. Everything is spoiled. I hope that all of us, particularly, I do pray every day that from this evil, everybody should be saved, and we are all should also put in our efforts in eradicating completely this liquor and drugs from our society. Khadi. Khadi means what? It's not just a cloth. It has got quite a lot of philosophy behind it. It provides employment. As our director during his address was mentioning, we have everything for our needs, but not for greed. And when I read about unemployment, I just laugh at it. There's no unemployment. If everybody wanted to meet their needs, but when everybody want to meet their greed, I'm sorry, it's not available. That's what Gandhiji said. So Khadi provides employment to everybody to take care of themselves and as well as to take care of others. Yes, that is the reason why Gandhiji propagated Khadi. It is also a big movement during freedom struggle and boycotting foreign clothes. Even during that time, the Khadi was so gunning back sort of things, so hard. Still, people used to have wear that. They fought for the freedom. They won the freedom. And as far as this Khadi is concerned, also it improves the concentration power, and as well as it is the Khadi cloth. It always used to say during winter it is warm, and it is, as well as in summer it is like a AC cloth. So the Khadi is also one of the things where we need to apply our mind. What's the time? I think is it over, or can I wind it up, or I can take another 5 minutes? Hello.
Yeah,
Can it take 5 minutes, or can I wind it up? I think it's time now.
I think Ramya, you can coordinate.
Hello.
You can take 5 minutes, no?
Okay. And now coming to the consecutive programs, Gandhiji's propagated village industries and sanitation, villages and others, everything. Now we have, I'm happy that government Swachh Bharat cleanliness program. And to some of the places where I have visited, it has given a very good impact, and there was a lot of awareness done because of the Swachh Bharat movement. And people are saying that when I've been there to Varanasi recently, I saw people, get tea, coffee, whatever it's given, and throw just like that. I think even the senior citizens going to the dustbin and throwing it there in the dustbin. So that's something great. The sanitation and village sanitation. I'm basically from a village, and we're never allowed inside the house without washing our food and hands. Now we are never allowed to eat food without washing our hands. So now it has become a very big movement, and unfortunately, I think cities they may not have that sort of time facilities that is needed. So now it has become a very good movement. I think unless we are clean, and we cannot promote the cleanliness anywhere and everywhere. And Gandhiji also said about basic education, Talim, women, provincial language, national language, economic equality. As I said, as the economic equality is concerned, it doesn't mean that everybody should be at the same level. But one thing is that everybody should share. And Gandhi for that promoted trusteeship. Whatever we have, it should be a trustee and should be given to the whoever is in need of it. And taking a decision these days has become very unfortunate, and nobody seems to be agreeing for anything. It is not a good sign. I think many of you have heard that there is an ashram at Pavana, Brahma Vidya Mandir, started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave, the spiritual head of Mahatma Gandhi, 1934. There, the sisters are there, and any decision is taken by consensus. And from 1934, still it is a practice, which means it is not an impossible thing. And if there is believe in that. I'm sure that I also, wherever I'm associated, when some proposal comes, if it appears to me good, if anybody says that no, it is not good, I said fine, okay. If it is not fine, even single person says that it is not fine, okay. What will happen if we don't accept that thing? That will come to a standstill. So what is needed is it is to convince the persons who oppose it if you are right. You also should have flexibility to listen to the person who is telling something. And if then we should be careful. We should take their words. So consensus is a very important thing along with the transparency. My approach, if I'm doing anything good, anything laudable, it is because of the transparent approach. One should be completely transparent, particularly when finance is involved. If there is no transparency, I used to say anybody can watch our balance sheets, anybody can say our transactions. So once if we follow, then there are people who will know respect you. Whatever is needed is being helped. But for Gandhiji, whether he is relevant or not relevant, to me he is relevant, and I am practicing. I find it very practicable, though it is a little difficult at the beginning. If you wanted to follow continuously, you need to judge every day, spend some time, all your actions. Wherever you are right, fine. If you are not right, if you are deviated from your own principles, then correct. Then you can become a great personality, and people will help you, and you will get more than what you expect in terms of self-satisfaction, in terms of happiness, in terms of helping others too. And out of my experience, I can say that it is not difficult, but it is uh, possible. It is not impossible thing. And also, I'd like to end with a few more words. It is not necessary that everybody should be a carbon copy of Gandhiji. Each one can have their own principles. Only thing what is required is love and affection. As Gandhiji, as our director mentioned about the talisman of Gandhiji, please think that whether it hurts anybody. So, knowingly or unknowingly, if you do it knowingly, it is a crime. If you do it unknowingly, please, when you evaluate, correct it. When Gandhiji himself said that, whatever I say today, and if I change my opinion the next day and the following day, please take whatever I said at the end. Latest one is my opinion. So that means you can say one should not be rigid, one should be flexible, one should understand what others also feel and what others also say. And if you all find that it is okay, then you can practice that thing. So what I say, like again, what our directors said, be the change that you wish to see from others. Yes. Only one incident about this thing. One small boy was taken by a mother to Gandhiji, who was taking a lot of jaggery. And Gandhiji, her mother asked Gandhiji, inform this child that he is eating too much of jaggery, which is not good. Gandhiji said, "You please come after 10 days." And her mother came after 10 days with the child. And Gandhiji said to that boy, "Please avoid, no, it's not good for health." So like that he said. Then her mother was asking, why you were not told the same thing when we came at the beginning? Why you are taken 10 days? He said that I was eating jaggery. I cannot say that. I just tried myself, controlled. Then that is the reason why I am suggesting. Not even he's compelling that boy not to take or ordering or when it's out of authority. He only said that you can please avoid jaggery, which is not good. So Gandhiji always practice what he preached. Before he preaches, he used to practice. So that is the reason he became a great personality. And each one can become a great personality if there is an integration between your words, your thought, and action. If it is not, then I'm sorry, we are nowhere. So this, lastly, I think the scientists have proved that if there is an emotional feeling for certain particular things at a particular time, a community prayer, so it will happen, it will help. So what my humble request, everywhere, wherever we are, at 6 o'clock in the evening, will let us say Om Shanti, let the whole world live in peace. Only this much. And I thank again the director and all uh, the members associated with the institution for giving me this honor and opportunity to share with this. Thank you all very much, and hope to meet you all sometime in person. And you are all welcome to visit our Takar Baba Vidyalaya T Nagar, where we are giving vocational training, fitter, electrician environment, and things like that. You can also refer the students. And we have a free hostel for girls in at Chennai and various other places. The girls whom you deserve, whom you think that they can study, we'll provide everything free of cost. And also, I would like to announce on this happy occasion, our Honorable Governor who visited recently or this thing, knowing about our activities, he announced 30 lakhs towards the construction of ladies' hostel, which we are doing it in the place of dilapidated existing hostel. So thank you all very much. I seek all your blessings and all your good wishes. And once again, I welcome you all to our institution. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences. We are very honored to have listened to your inspiring speech. I now request Dr. Raja Shankar, Chief Scientist, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Dr. Rajashankar, you're muted.
His mic is on, but camera is not on.
But we can't hear him. Can you call and see what happened? Dr. JR?
Moti, it seems his camera and mic are on, but we are not able to hear.
I think Anant.
So Dr. Bharat Kumar, you can do the vote of thanks, I think.
Yes, sir. So I thank Chief Guest today for giving this wonderful lecture and highlighting about the Gandhian philosophy and the thought of your experience with his thoughts. So I thank because immediately he has accepted with very less time was there and readily agreed. So I thank him for his uh, accepting our invitation and delivering the lecture. I thank director on Professor Santosh Kapuria for giving the encouragement and all the facility and other things to encourage to organize this function. Very short duration was there, so he has given us the very all the freedom to choose the chief guest and other things. So I thank Professor Santosh Kapuria for giving this opportunity, and I thank Ramya to comparing the function and BKMD, especially BKMD and the COA office and other departments who have helped in organizing this function, especially from ICT division who has organized this webinar very short notice. So I thank them also, and finally I thank one and only who have helped in organizing this function. Thank you all.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Maruti, once again.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
The honor.
And thank all participants, whoever has joined us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.